Look how active that is. Isn't that nice?
Very active.
So
now
just put in 100 grams.
So when
roughly, it doesn't have to be exact, but you want at least 100 grams, but no more than like 110. And it's going to be about a half a cup worth. So yeah, cut it off right there and let's see where we're at.
What did you have to do to get that? I mean,
So that is time, love, and tenderness.
yeah.
Getting a starter is what takes the most work.
Yeah.
So every time, will we always have to build the starter?
No, you already have
You'll
the
feed
starter.
it.
Oh, so then
Feed it to a point.
Okay,
There you go.
101.
Perfect. Look at that.
Oh.
Perfect. You're a
Okay.
pro.
So the hard
All right,
work is
so-
done for you already.
All right,
Yeah.
so we've got
This is
that
the
on,
hard part.
and that's on here
Yeah,
too.
and
So
we'll go over what to do with that once we get this started.
okay, so we'll remember, in the future we'll remember the 100. It's on there too, or not? We just have
It
to
should
remember
just.
that.
Okay, so now the flour. So the flour, salt, and water.
All right,
Okay.
flour, salt. Is that the right stuff?
Unbleached, perfect.
Okay.
Salt,
And
perfect.
spring water.
Water, perfect.
Spring water. All right.
So yeah, just you can set that down or what have you. And so now with this, you're putting in 500 grams
Okay.
of this, so you can use like a measuring cup instead of pouring it in, because pouring it in, if a clump comes out, and all of a sudden you're over. So
After
that
I
way you
just
can
told
kind
her, you
of.
won't need that measuring cup.
I just use it as like a scoop, but.
Just
All
as
right.
a
So
you want a smaller one or?
Yeah, just a smaller one.
Because this is.
Cup size, those clear plastic ones in the, there you go.
oh, that okay.
Perfect.
Here, give me that other one. Put this one back.
There you go, we'll set this off to
Alright.
the side. And so we want to tear this.
You say tear this. That just
Tear,
makes it
that means zero it out.
Oh,
Yep,
I
zero,
learned
Z,
something new already.
Z for zero,
Yep.
T for tear.
Okay.
So it's the on off also. So yep, so 500 grams, it's going to be about 3.5 of those maybe.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about evening it out, just dump it in. You're going to 500 grams, so that's
Okay.
150. There you go, 325. That'll get you about to 475 or so, 430.
30. Ooh. Well, you were
462.
almost spot on.
She's good.
Perfect.
508?
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
8 grams is not gonna kill you.
So get this out of the way.
Yep.
All
Now
right.
we're done with that, and so now you're doing. Now, what does this say on here? 10 or 12 grams?
12.
It says 12. Good, because 10 was a little light.
So
So
now
now we tear it out
Tear it
again
Okay.
and pour that in, and it's about go ahead. It's about 2 teaspoons, between 2 teaspoons and 1 tablespoon.
So 12 grams.
There you go. Perfect.
All right.
13. It's fine.
That's all right. Here, give me that one. I'll throw this over here.
All right, and now
that
we
way?
tear it again, and it's 350. So 350 grams. It comes out fast.
So you can put it in a container if you're
So
worried
you
about
can
it.
pour it in, but it's a slower, steadier.
I'm going to try this first.
All right. So 350.
350. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's almost 2 of what you just did. So don't fill it all the way up.
I'm just going to go a little slower. What did you just say?
231 is to 250.
350?
Yep. 350.
350.
That's good. Because it's about a half a cup is about 100 grams.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's fine. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. 357, 7 grams. You're okay. So the whole thing is some people. This is
Yeah,
what
you
they
can
call.
go.
This is called what they call a 70% hydration, and that's because it's 70% of the flour amount is what you're putting in for water. Some people do 100% hydration, do equal parts, and it's really, really doughy, and so it gets really fluffy and so on. Others will do about an 80. The 70% is just really easy to manage and handle,
Okay.
especially for beginners.
So if it's a
Okay.
little
So-
bit higher, it's not going to hurt.
So
Okay.
and it's not an exact. You want to be close, but it's not an exact.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we're done with the scale.
All right.
Completely done with that.
So all of these amounts are all on here, right? Oh yeah, right there. Perfect. Okay.
All right.
That scale's awesome.
And so now you're just mixing it up, and you basically you're just wanting to make sure it's all wet. So it's all in. You don't want any dry parts of flour. That's the biggest thing. So you'll be scraping the sides of the bowl, folding it under, and getting it all. But it doesn't have to be smooth, because what's going to happen is the starter is going to start eating. Right?
Okay.
It's going to start eating that flour. It's going to start incorporating itself the rest of the way in. And you'll see by the time.
Here, John, you can use some.
So by the time we get
that
done,
one over there. All right.
Yeah, by the time we get done with all of this, the stretch and folds, it's going to be smooth.
Oh, okay.
The
Like
miracle
Yep.
of
So
time.
the miracle of time, which we've got to wait, because that hasn't gone anywhere near
How do you
double yet.
How do you know when it's ready?
I'll show you.
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's going to be.
I'm
it's
ahead of
gonna-
myself.
It's gonna be about double in size.
Okay.
But then there's a touch method you can do also, a dry
Oh.
touch method to let you, which lets you know. Let me see how we doing here.
You tell me.
That's perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
so
Yeah. So
all right.
Now
So then
from
you
here,
got that little
you
green
want
thing?
to cover it. You can cover it with plastic.
Alright.
You can cover it with what I found is really nice instead of dealing with plastic is
No, that's
you
okay.
can still do it, but what I've got is one of those big Tupperware bowls with a plastic lid, and I just pop a pop thing on top of it.
It doesn't have to
It
seal.
doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah. That would be. Yeah. That actually would work perfectly.
Oh, all right.
So, yeah, because it's going to start rising. This isn't going to let too much air in. Some people will use shower caps.
Oh,
They put that so
Okay.
you can see inside of it and everything a lot easier. And
It's
You'll
not
just
but-
lift that up
but,
and
yeah.
kind of just
So that's all set. So we're waiting now. So
No,
that,
just
that
take
right
this.
there, we wait. First time is going to be an hour, and then we'll do our first stretch and fold. So if you want to set a timer or
for
what
an
have you.
Hey Google, set timer for 1 hour. All right.
So after an hour, we'll do the first stretch and fold, and then that's going to be the first one. We do 4 of those, but we only wait 30 minutes in between the next ones.
Okay.
So
an
after
hour
that
and 30.
4th stretch and fold, then you're doing this, and you're waiting for it to double in size.
Okay, so you've already done the 4.
I've already done the 4 stretch
Okay.
and folds. Those got done at 9.
Yep. Okay.
So, when we first started doing this in our house, we let our house go up to 79 degrees during the day, so not, for energy, this and that, whatever. So, in a 79 degree house, it doubles in size in like 4 hours, no problem.
Oh,
So, the cooler your house, the longer it's going to take to get to that point where you're going to shape it.
okay.
So, it
So
doesn't
that's,
This is a
but
little
so
chilly.
yeah, so that's, it is what it is there.
Yeah. A little
Um,
chillier than that because we got the doors
It's,
open, so-
it's good, and it'll be fine. This will be fine. But you had a question that we were going to get to. I just
know
wanted to
when.
get this.
Yeah,
No, it was before that. It was when we
Okay.
first started measuring out.
well,
Yes.
the first question
Oh,
had to do with
that
the
right
starter.
there.
Yeah.
So the starter-
Yeah.
So the starter.
What exactly is it? What's
It's flour and water.
Okay.
So you start off with equal portions. So it's like 50 grams of whole wheat flour,
Oh, okay.
or any whole grain flour. You can do the rye or whatever. So 50 grams of that, and then 50 grams of water. And so you mix that up, and then you let that sit. Got to remember how it goes now. I think it's 12 hours, and then you discard half.
Like, just
Right, you toss it.
throw it up. Okay.
Yeah. You could do another starter at that point, but you're going to do so many of these, you'd have like 30 starters by
Okay.
the time that was all done. So it's flour and water. I had to remind myself, it's just flour.
But no yeast or anything, just flour
no,
and
flour and
water.
water. So what happens as you're doing that, as it sits, it's, how did that happen? That doesn't fit
Yeah.
correctly anymore.
Oh no, it went. It's fine now.
Okay. I was like, how did
It went.
that grow and that shrink? I don't understand. So it starts eating it, and then after 12 hours, you feed it again. At this time, you're doing that type of flour, just the regular unbleached all-purpose.
So half water, half flour. You throw it in there,
and then
you discard.
You discard half
after.
It's after 12 hours.
12 hours, okay.
And then you get that half that you keep, that portion, whatever it is, it's what's it going to be? 50 grams. You're going to add, to that 50 grams of starter, you're going to add 50 grams of water, 50 grams of flour.
And then just
Mix
the
that
regular
up.
white unbleached.
Yep.
Okay.
And then 12 hours, do that exact same thing, discard half, 50 grams, 50 grams. You do that I think it's 3 or 4 times. And then you do it every 24 hours. And you do it every 24 hours until it becomes active. And they say it's roughly around 12 days. It may take, mine took 3.5 weeks to get active enough.
How do you know it's when you say active, what does that mean?
It means
The bubbly.
the bubbly.
Oh, okay, that's
This
just
bubbly.
it. Yep, I saw that.
So if you smell it, it doesn't
yeah.
smell really flowery. You can
Okay.
smell it's got that
Yep.
kind of sweet aromatic smell to it. That's all those good enzymes we love. But
Okay.
yeah, there's no yeast. So the yeast, there actually is yeast in here, but it's natural. It's
Okay.
pulling the natural yeast out of the air.
Oh,
And so yeah, it's feeding on that, and so it's a natural fermentation process. So this is actually one of the
healthy,
things we
it's
learned.
natural
It's very healthy,
probiotic.
natural probiotic.
yeah.
But it's very much like the same process as making beer,
Okay.
because of the natural fermentation of the grain.
Although you do
and
add yeast
everything.
when you're making
You
beer.
do.
Right, but typically in most of them it's a natural yeast.
Yes.
It's not like a yeast you buy on the in the store.
right.
It's so it's closer to what
It's an
this is.
enzyme
Yep.
or something like that they use.
So we're done with this.
Okay.
Now, you will, this has been recently fed. You can keep it in the fridge. And I would say no longer than 2 weeks without using it or feeding it again. My guess, I don't know how big of bread eaters you are or anything. So you may be doing this every week. I don't know.
We
You'll
definitely
never
want to
have
do it
actual
again
discards.
soon, so we
Don't
remember.
forget.
Remember it.
Yeah.
Right. So
And our girls want some too, so we'll have them over and then we'll try to.
right. So that's the
through
thing
together.
is you used 100 grams. That's like maybe 1/3 of what you've got here. So you've got
Okay.
enough to make another loaf, and before you even need to feed it. But you can also so if your daughters want to make it, you can take 50 grams of this.
Yeah.
And 50 grams of flour, 50 grams of water, stir it up, and now you've got your starter.
For them.
And we could
So
and
equal
then-
parts. Anytime you want to feed your starter,
Yep.
it's equal parts of starter to flour to
So we'll
water.
have to pick up some. Now that at this point we use just the regular flour.
Same.
Yes,
Right.
yeah. You don't have to worry about the whole wheat or
You
anything
never
like
have
that.
to do that now.
The whole
We've
wheat's
already
just from
taken
the-
care of
Okay.
that.
All purpose.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. I will. So one thing to be on the lookout for. You may not ever have this happen, but just in case you do, if it does go and sit in the back of your fridge for a couple weeks or longer, because you've grown tired of sourdough bread, I don't know how that would happen.
That's when you had cinnamon
Yeah.
and all the
Yeah,
other
you start doing the
cheese.
cinnamon rolls
Oh, yeah.
and the cheese and all the other stuff.
Do pretzels.
We've
We've done the
done
pretzels.
those.
Yeah, very good.
Pizza crust?
But braids.
Oh yes, we do pizza
Yeah,
crust.
breakfast braids with the cinnamon and that's really good.
The
Pizza crust, we
breakfast
do
braids
pizza
are
crust
so
all the
good.
time.
Yeah,
So
were
we
thinking-
make them and freeze them.
Yep.
Oh, you make the pizza
individual-
crust?
Yeah,
The
so we
pizza
make
crust?
the pizza crust. Little individuals like this.
Yeah.
We make them and freeze them, and that way, whenever we just want to,
We bake them
pop them out.
already.
Par baked. Yeah.
Par bake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we just put them
When you-
in with parchment paper and put them in a bag,
Gallon freezer
Ziploc
bag and-
freezer bag, and
Freeze them.
When you par bake them, how
425 for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
kind of
So
set.
just so they're set.
Yeah.
They haven't browned yet, but they're kind of set.
So
So.
they're not
Okay.
super
Um,
dry.
Not sticky.
They're
Right,
not
Right.
sticky.
Right.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then when we just put all of our toppings on, it doesn't take them very long
Yeah.
to bake,
Yeah.
and we make
Oh,
those.
that
We
sounds-
love them. They're
that sounds
made
really good.
real quick, easy meals. We
So
did it the other
going
night.
back real quick, if it sits in the back of your fridge long enough, what's going to happen is you'll get a first stage is you'll get hooch on top.
Okay.
It's a great liquid.
Yeah.
It's it's the alcohol from the
Yep.
fermentation.
Yeah.
So you can just stir that back in
Okay.
before feeding it. Some people say pour it off. I prefer to stir it back in because I think that's where your sour comes from,
Yep.
and a lot of the activity. But if it sits in too much further past that, then you'll start developing like black spots, like you've thrown some pepper in there,
Then they
or
gotta get rid of it.
and because that's mold.
Yep.
Or it turns pink, and that's mold, and then so it's dead.
Okay.
And then you gotta call your
Died.
friend or your daughters
Yep.
to,
Get another
to
starter.
get some starters from them
And
to
get it going,
get it
yep.
going again.
Right.
So
Phone a friend.
But yeah, so this right here is ready to go in the fridge now. It's ready to keep until the next time to either give some away, share some, or make your next set of bread or what have you. It's ready. And
So you said that one right there is probably about 200 grams.
Yeah,
Because we
well, let's
used
see.
100.
Let's check it.
And the I can't remember
Container's
how much
not
the container
super
weighs, but it's
heavy.
268. So it's gonna be. This is probably about 180 then.
Okay.
Okay.
180 grams. Yeah, so we can probably pause that now.
Okay.